American Dad, Seth MacFarlane's other cartoon, at least that's how most people see it, it was something that flew very under the radar. Family Guy definitely consumed more of that attention, and that's a shame. American Dad is a very great show in its own right, and unlike Family Guy, never really declined much in quality. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're going to be talking about the seasons of American Dad. Because if you've ever gone on a streaming service, or Wikipedia, or anywhere, you might be a little confused on how many seasons this show has. Because if you're going on Hulu, it is currently up to date with the 19 seasons that make up the streaming order. But if you go on Wikipedia, it says the show has 21 seasons. So, which one's right? So back when the show aired initially, 7 episodes broadcasted, and that was labeled Season 1 for a while. And then a little later in 2005 and the beginning of 2006, we'd get Season 2, and you can go on from there. But in future times, these 2 seasons have been merged into one, which kinda isn't wrong, as the difference is even though they aired like this wasn't how the show was produced, mostly. So, Season 1, when it was first being produced, actually had 19 episodes made for it. However, only those initial 7 aired as Season 1. So, what happened to the rest of them? They just became Season 2, with the exception of the last 4 episodes, which are actually real Season 2 in terms of production. This actually isn't as uncommon as you think, at least on the Fox Animation side of things. Taking Seth's other show, Family Guy, is a good example. The first 15 episodes were actually produced as Season 1, but as we all know, only 7 of those are counted as Season 1 through streaming and DVDs. The remaining 8 became the first portion of Season 2. Why is this done? If I have to guess, it's to try to rejuvenate interest so that if they need to order a Season 2 immediately, they can already have a bunch of episodes ready. And honestly, production can kind of go in a unique way in that sense. You can already have a bunch of seasons out of the gate without needing to produce much new. It's definitely something to keep in mind when you're watching a lot of those Fox seasons initially, because they can kind of split up into multiple ones. Like Season 3 is actually Season 2. Season 4 actually still starts with a Season 2 holdover, and then it goes into Season 3, and then it becomes a mishmash of 3 and 4 with Season 5, and you can kind of get it from there, because I feel like if I keep going, it's going to get pretty complicated. But in terms of production, the Fox airing ends with 8 seasons. When the show switched over to TBS, starting with its 9th produced season, that kind of just became the thing. Each season from then on was in its production order, so there aren't seasons being fused. Season 9 is just Season 9, Season 10 is just Season 10, there's no more. But the way they're split up is going to make it a little different. And in total, if we're counting, there's actually 18 produced seasons of American Dad. So where are all these other orders coming from, you may ask? Well, with Hulu, for example, the reason why it will say, technically it says 18 right now, but 19 would be what it officially says when the new season's added. Well, the reason that happened is because it's going mostly by the airing order, but fusing broadcast Fox Season 1, which is those first 7 episodes, and the 16 episodes of Season 2 into one 23-episode season, and Season 11's Fox broadcast, which is the 3 episodes that aired in September as burn-offs, fused with Season 12 broadcast, which made up the first 15 episodes of the TBS run, to make an 18-episode Season 10. So technically, it's still mostly following the Fox order, it's just 2 seasons off. Mainly, I guess, to bulk up Seasons 1 and 11, because it looks a little weird. But then there is another thing to talk about, which are the DVD releases, which admittedly they did stop, and they didn't technically call these season releases, but volume releases. But I think it's important to note, because the volumes ended at 14, which was actually Fox Broadcast 15 / Hulu 13. God, that's annoying to say. But I think that's clear that if they did keep going, we would have had Volume 20, which would have had Season 21 / 19 / 18. Ugh, it's a mouthful. But yeah, I want to make it clear, there's 4 different season counts for this show. The production order, the DVD order, the streaming order and Fox's initial broadcast order. That is so ridiculous for one animated show to have. Even Futurama, which also has a confusing streaming order, which Nintendo did a video on, I recommend watching that for more information on that show's weird season run. Even that is just 2 different orders. This is 4. And when it comes to the show itself specifically, if they ever reference an episode directly, they're always going by the production number of that episode, not the airing or streaming numbers. Hence why you have in episode 100 AD this line.
I played Stan's satanic best friend in episode 302.
So then comes the question, what is the definitive order to watch American Dad in? And I guess objectively it'd be the production order, but there's kind of a problem. You're gonna have to jolt a lot of episodes around, as some of these are like mixed in with the seasons a little too much, and or they're aired in a random order and not related to the production ones, or sometimes an episode just gets delayed, like with the hurricane event, or the Mistral Krampus episode being delayed 1 extra season. And be honest with yourself, are you gonna go through the hassle of rearranging the order on Disney Plus yourself and like watch 1 episode here, skip around, watch a different episode, go back, watch the other one? No, you're not gonna do that. That's ridiculous to do. And honestly, the continuity isn't too heavily affected watching it in airing order. I rewatched the whole show recently, and trust me, it won't be much of an issue. So then, what season count should you go by? Admittedly, it doesn't really matter, but because I grew up with the Fox run, I go by that order. The main reason I do is because having such long gaps in between seasons just feels really weird. Like to have an initial 7 air, and then months pass for those last 16. Or to have 3 episodes air on one channel, and then the last 15 air on a different one. Again, just feels a bit confusing. So even though it's not technically the way the show is produced, even though it's not going to be the way it's streamed, for me, American Dad officially has 21 seasons in my eyes. But to give the Hulu order a lot of credit, it is the most accessible because, well, it's on a streaming service, and this is just going to be how the show is counted from here on out. So it is going to be the one that most people are going to go by because casual observers are going to see, oh, hey, it says 18/19, trying to future-proof this video, and then bam, that's how many seasons they think the show has. Fair enough, but I'm going by Wikipedia. I trust that website with my life. But thank you guys for watching, and tell me, how many seasons do you see as American Dad having? Do you agree with Hulu and that 19 is the correct answer? Or do you agree with the production and that 18 must be the most enforced one and that should be what's on streaming? Tell me in the comments below, and please give me some explanations. I'd love to hear you out. As always, thank you for watching and take care.